Thank you for joining us. I hope everybody's doing well. It's unlike me to use a microphone, but because of the nature of us recording this, I'm using the microphone because it will help the audio for the recording. And another thing I like to do is move around when I speak, but because the device is focused right in this area, the speakers are going to stay right here. Okay? Thank you for coming this morning. Joe Fox is my name, the director of middle and upper school. This is my 12th year. I lose track. I don't know how you do it, keeping track of the number of years you've been here, but 12th year, I believe, working at Barstow. I always add 5 more because I was a student. I entered in 8th grade, went through the upper school experience, and so happy to be back working at Barstow. We started this, Rebecca, 3-4 years ago? We know that this is a busy time of the year where you get bombarded with information from other schools about their upper school programs, and we wanted to provide some information about our upper school program, what it looks like, what the academics look like. And so we're going to take, I'd say, the next 30 to 45 minutes, but Scott Hill and I have never had a meeting that lasts less than 45 minutes once Scott gets talking. So the three of us will introduce ourselves. We have some slides, but we do not really want to have a presentation style format. We want an open forum. We would love questions. Anytime we say something that's of interest, please ask us questions, because that's what we really enjoy doing. Rebecca, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, guys. Good morning. I'm glad that you can tell me apart from the twins right here. So I'll be talking a little bit when we're done about just some of the cool things we have coming up so that the kids can get really excited and pumped about next year. It's very much like a continuous process, middle going into upper, but it does feel different as a 9th grader, and especially if kiddos haven't had an older sibling. They might not know what neat things they have to look forward to. So we're going to be talking a little bit at the end about what the kids can expect. You know, this is for you this morning, but we want to be sure that the kids have some really authentic experiences that will help them prepare for 9th grade and just get excited about it. And I'll also be talking a little bit about the opt-out period in January. We can go over that as well, but thanks for joining us.
Good morning. My name is Scott Hill. I'm the Director of College Counseling. I see a lot of familiar faces out there. So I see some parents that have already been through the process, but it's always great to have you here if you have a younger sibling, because the process changes every year. But as Joe mentioned, I'm in my 22nd year at Barstow, assisting students with the college search and application process. I feel like I've got the luckiest job in the world, working with these highly motivated leaders that really want to challenge themselves with curriculum, with their service, etc. So I think, as we mentioned, this works best if it's an informal discussion to get your questions answered. Thanks.
And Scott is a great person to have at this meeting because he's a wealth of institutional knowledge. So not only does he help with the college search and application process, and he'll probably speak about this more, but scheduling questions. He looks at every transcript that comes through from the 9th through 12th grade level. So over the years, there hasn't been a situation that he hasn't seen and dealt with in terms of academics. I'm going to send you all these slides, so you don't have to take any notes, but there's hyperlinks in there, all our contact information. Feel free to contact us at any time. That's really what we, pride ourselves on here at Barstow. How do you describe an upper school experience in 45 minutes? It's a difficult task. There's so much that embodies what happens here from 9th through 12th grade. We try to break it into the school's mission statement, which is the symmetrical development of mind, body, and character. So we'll have 3 sections, really just with prompts about different topics that we can discuss. But the mind's going to have to do with academics, the body with more extracurricular activities and things to do outside of the classroom, and then character, the other various aspects that make the school special and make it a very special community. So those are kind of the 3 main sections and how we try to organize our thoughts and describe to you what upper school might look like. So the mind, academics, this is where we spend the majority, of our time in what we're discussing today. Just threw a bunch of information up on the screen for you to just kind of take a look at. We can touch on all of them. We can touch on some of them. The underlined areas have hyperlinks associated, so when I send these slides out to you, you'll be able to click and get more information. Let's start with just general requirements and classes that students take in upper school. Middle school, we take courses. We don't necessarily have graduation requirements for the middle school, but students take coursework every year, as you know. When we get to upper school, we have a much more solidified graduation requirement that students need to meet to, get a diploma from the school. And it requires 25 total credits. A credit, you complete a semester, you get half a credit. 1 year, you get a full credit. So in getting to 25 total credits, you can see the breakdown there. Every year, students take an English class and a math class. 3 out of 4 years, they're taking a science and a history or social science class. 2 years in the arts, or 2 credits in the arts, 1 credit in physical education, and then there's no class associated with leadership and service learning. That's completing 80 hours of community service over the 4 years of upper school. When you add up the department requirements for credits, it does not get to 25. So those are the minimum number of credits required. What we love here at Barstow is as you get older, you're able to pursue coursework that you enjoy, that you want to delve into. Very common here at Barstow to see a student graduating with 5 or 6 credits in science, 5 or 6 credits in history. They're going to an art school. They might have 4 or 5 credits in the arts. So they are using these as a barometer and the minimums, but then they're delving into the areas that they want to study. I can think of students in the past that have been at the AP level in all 3 of the languages that we offer, French, Chinese, and Spanish, as an example. Students in middle school taking 7 or 8 courses. In upper school, students are taking 6 or 7 courses. So they have a choice between 1 or 2 study halls that eventually will turn into free periods once they get older. Okay, a free period is when we don't take attendance. We have a study hall where all 9th graders start in a proctored study hall where we do take attendance, and then after the first semester, all goes well, they're doing well, we transition it to a free period where they stay on campus, but they don't have to report to a location at a specific time. So we give upper school students in particular a great deal of freedom, and with that freedom comes accountability and responsibility, but as an alum, it's one of the things that I really appreciate most about the culture of the school. Questions so far? Okay. Required courses, they're on the bottom left. You can see the actual course titles that all students have to take. As you get older, the number of required courses, as I mentioned, becomes less and less, so students can study the courses that they want to take. Scott, what would be an example of some courses that students might take in 11th and 12th grade with the couple courses that are listed?
Well, generally speaking, a lot of 11th graders. I think, first of all, before I jump into that, let's talk a little bit about, in my mind, what Barstow is opportunity. Opportunity to take a challenging curriculum, opportunity to be a leader, opportunity to build strong relationships with myself, the teachers, the 135 to 40 colleges that visit Barstow every fall. Okay, with that being said, jumping back into this, typical schedule I'd see would be English, probably. And the thing is, I think I'm going to jump over to rigor also. We offer 3 levels of coursework here at Barstow: college prep, honors, and AP/honors college. Okay? And it's always about fit, just like it is when we're searching for colleges. We want to find the right academic, social, financial fit on colleges. Here at Barstow, we want to make sure that the students are in the right curriculum, okay, based on their needs. So we have college prep, honors, and advanced placement/honors college. Honors college is Barstow's own super designation that rivals kind of AP. You know, that's a trademarked from the College Board, AP is, and we have instructors that want to teach what they want to teach just as rigorous as AP. So we call it HC Honors College. And we offer a few courses in that, organic chemistry, advanced math topics. I think there might be something else in that mix too for Honors College. Maybe quantum physics. Okay, so quantum physics is above AP physics. Okay, advanced math topics is above calculus BC. So the thing is, these are courses we offer that most high schools, I don't think you'll find another high school that offers organic chemistry, or probably, saying 2 levels above calculus BCAP. That just doesn't happen. I think we're all about saying yes as much as possible instead of saying no. So we want to stretch these students as far as they can go. Typical schedule I would see in 11th grade, English honors, English college prep, or English language AP. Mathematics, sometimes it's probably honors pre-calculus, calculus AB, stats AP would be the subjects I normally see in the mathematics, US history, college prep, honors or AP. Then we go to the sciences. Typically, I'll see students taking physics honors along with chem AP after chemistry honors sophomore year. Sometimes they'll squeeze in macro or microeconomics full year AP. I think that tidies it up. I think the thing to recognize is the fact that at the 9th grade level, you don't have as much flexibility as you do as a senior. You say in 8th grade, coming into 9th grade, you're kind of choosing your language. I think the important thing right there is whether you're coming into Spanish 1, Chinese 1, French 1, or you're advancing to Spanish 2, French 2, or Chinese 2, okay? I think some people say, I'm in Spanish 1 as an 8th grader, I automatically are going to be taking Spanish 2 as a 9th grader. Well, not if Spanish is not one of your strengths. I mean, we have one of the most stringent foreign language requirements in the state of Missouri. We require 3 units in the upper school, no matter what level you come in at. So if you come in at Spanish 2 as a freshman, you're probably going to be taking through Spanish 4. And our world languages here are very tough. So we want to make sure we get that level right on the world languages coming in. Okay.
Scott touched on the 3 levels of rigor: college prep, honors, AP. I think the nature of Scott's role in the college counseling office, and before this role, I was working with Scott in the college counseling office. Sometimes we get the reputation of only speaking to the students that are looking for the most selective institutions in the country, talking about AP physics and quantum physics and, these high levels of courses. No, I barely made it through physics. One of my greatest memories, actually, was the first physics test that I took here at Barstow as a junior with Mark Adams. The mark of a good teacher is when you get the test and you look at the test and you read the first question and you say, oh boy, I learned this, but I can't reproduce it. Then I went down to the second question and I said, oh boy, we learned this too, and I can't produce the answer here. And I went all the way through the test with that feeling. It wasn't great. 45. It didn't need to be curved either. I got a 45%. So physics was a struggle for me, but I made it through. A lot of time in the physics room, working problems, and so I wasn't this high flyer student that was seeking some of the most selective colleges in the country. Okay, we're able to service, in my opinion, a lot of different students here. Those students that are going to take 5, 6 AP courses their junior and senior years, going to seeking out the most selective colleges in the country. And we have students here that through the 4 years of upper school won't take any honors or AP coursework at all. That's perfectly fine. We don't push them in a particular direction. We get to know the students. We have family meetings. We want to hear what your aspirations are. And then I think the benefit of Scott is his experience in knowing what it takes to go to the colleges that you might be pursuing as a family or as a student, and finding a schedule that fits those needs. All right, so we'll take a break from that just for a second because Lindsay walked in. Lindsay Zimmerman is our 9th grade English teacher. She's also our 9th grade grade level coordinator or 9th grade dean. So she's really assisting students all the way through the first year of the upper school experience. And I just wanted her to introduce herself. Tell us anything. Tell us about 9th grade, and then I think also maybe tell our families the difference between a college prep English 9th grade experience and then what you do second semester for honors.
Good morning. As Joe said, I'm Lindsay Zimmerman. I teach all of the freshman English classes as well as half of our senior English students, which is really cool because I get to see how much they've grown as writers, the students who get me a second time in the senior year. But in addition, I also help coordinate the freshman year. And so what that means as the dean is that I'm kind of keeping an eye, and we do this for each of the 4 years in the upper school, kind of keeping an eye on the whole grade level, just watching out for them socially, academically, trying to be there to help and to intervene when issues arise. You know, as Mr. Fox mentioned, we really try to serve students at all levels, but you can't do that well unless you know the kids well. So we're really trying to have the dean, the teachers, and also advisors kind of looking out for them, advising, guiding, and there, so that there's at least hopefully a couple adults in the building that the kids feel comfortable with and can get advice from, and who are kind of looking out for them. I will say this is my 17th year at Barstow, and I absolutely love it here. And one of the things that I really love about this place is that the warmth that there is between teachers and students is really special. And it takes this interesting shift in the upper school, because the kids are sort of ready to begin to step into their adult scholarly self, kinda, sorta. And so we get to have these great conversations where they are treated like a scholarly peer and an equal. And I wish you could be a fly on the wall for those conversations, because they're fascinating, and it's amazing what they can do in our kind of literary discussions and just in general. And I'll also say that one of the things I think from an 8th grade Barstow family, Barstow student perspective that shifts in the 9th grade, because I know that students are calculating, like, do I really want to stay with this group of friends in this building, or do I want to maybe try something new? Upper school is trying something new. I know it maybe feels counterintuitively because they're just moving down the hall a bit, but with classes, sports and extracurriculars, clubs, the plays and musicals, the freshmen get kind of welcomed into the upper school world, the student world, pretty quickly, and have a whole new group of peers and peers to look up to, and who are doing really outstanding and excellent things that they can kind of follow in those footsteps. I always check in with the freshmen a couple times throughout the year, and one thing I hear consistently from them is, we love it. It's so different from middle school. It's harder, but it feels like less busy work. I have so many new friends, like I'm meeting all these new people. I didn't know that would be so easy to do. And the more kids get involved, the more their friend group expands. So just to speak to that concern, I know I hear a lot of 8th grade students express, like, if my friend group is kind of running out of steam here and I'm ready for a new social experience, is that going to be available in the upper school? And the answer is very much yes. So for whatever that's worth. I also have to rep our writing program. I feel like our English department, of course I'm biased, but I think our English department is really outstanding. Each of our English faculty kind of come at the coursework from a different direction. And I hear a lot from students who have graduated and send an email back like, I both love and hate you, Ms. Zimmerman, because I'm the strongest writer in my dorm and I'm having to edit everybody's paper, and thank you, but also curses, you know, this is terrible. So I'm proud of the writers we produce. And the last thing I'll say is I'm experiencing the what feels like a culmination of that pride right now, because we have been coaching our seniors through the college essay. I think we spend more time than any other school in the city intensively coaching the seniors through that super high stakes, terrifying college essay, and workshopping it in class and workshopping it one-on-one. We cancel classes for a week so that they have full access to their English teachers for one-on-one help. And yeah, English classes, not all classes, English classes, thank you. And I think that is really special, and it really helps students produce the best writing that they're capable of to show themselves well and to produce something that they can feel really proud of. And I always feel just this glow of pride of what we've accomplished together, seeing those essays. So I'm kind of in that glow right now as the essays are getting finished up for the November 1st college deadline. So anyway, that's me. I'm Lindsay. Please feel free to email me if I can answer any questions about the freshman year. I probably spend more time with the freshmen than anybody else in the building, and so I'd be happy to field any questions that arise. And hope to see you all next year.
As an alum, writing concisely is the one thing that I always mention I think this school really taught me, and I take it very seriously. So I hope that in the emails you receive from me and the update letters, and I try not to bombard you too often, I hope you feel like I'm a good writer. If not, But I want you to know that I take every piece of information that I send your way in writing very seriously, because it is a reflection on the work that our faculty do here, especially in English courses. Questions so far? Sometimes I feel like we throw so much information you leave with your head spinning, and that's not the goal of today. We want you leaving with your questions answered and hopefully a firm foundation of what upper school might look like. Let me speak really. Questions about the level of rigor? Let me speak really specifically about ninth graders and what courses they're going to take next year. English 9. Okay, all ninth graders taking an English course. A math course. For most of our students, not most, for half of our students, it's Algebra 2 in some fashion, Algebra 2 Honors, or Algebra 2 College Prep. For the other half of our students, it's geometry. A couple exceptions in there, but for the most part, it's a 50-50 split. Okay? Geometry is a college prep level class. Algebra 2, 2 options. Okay? Biology. Ancient world history. A language of some kind. Chinese, Spanish, or French. Most of our ninth graders coming in at the second level because they have studied a foreign language in all 3 years of middle school. Students can also switch. They've been studying Spanish in middle school. Now they want to try French. They would start in the first level. Okay? We'll also have a student where world language is not one of their strongest subject areas, and because ninth grade is starting the transcript that will be sent to colleges, they don't want to go into the second level. Scott was talking about taking 3 years in a foreign language. For some students, it's a good idea to start again with level 1, so we're building that transcript in the strongest possible fashion. So these are the conversations that we have, okay? So that's 5 courses, and then Art Fundamentals is a semester-long class that ninth graders take in either the fall or the spring semester, okay? So that can be a 6th course. Question? Question is, can they take 2 languages? Yes, definitely. So Dr. Kramer, who's teaching right now, he would normally attend this meeting. He builds the schedule from scratch, and so he really tries to cut down on the conflicts that are available, or the conflicts that happen when we go through that process, and he does it from May all the way through early August. And so we will, when he gets the requests, he'll see that a student wants to take 2 languages. And so in building the schedule, he will try to accommodate those requests. So it's been very common over the years here that students can double up in math courses, double up in science courses, double up in language courses. We can talk about, see it says summer coursework via BGO. I'll bring that up in a second. But for some of our ninth graders who want to advance themselves in mathematics, it'd be common to see them take geometry and Algebra 2 concurrently at the same time in ninth grade as one of their extra classes, one of their 7th classes. So those are all possibilities that can happen. Okay? So for some students, I listed 6 courses. They want to take 6, and so maybe that's their fall semester. And then in their spring semester, they pick up another semester-long class. Could be strength and conditioning, could be acting, could be painting, drawing, ceramics, robotics. The list is, you can click on Upper School Course Catalog or other course offerings and see the list that's available to ninth grade students, okay? So it starts pretty regimented. Scott mentioned there's not a ton of flexibility, all right? And then everybody, for the most part, in English, biology, world history, starting at the college prep level. And then in January, when the second semester starts, there's a self-selection option to move up to the honors level in all 3 of the courses. So teachers will say, what the differences are, and students get to select if they want to move up to the honors level in those 3 courses. And it's not all or nothing. You have to move up in all 3. You can move up in one of the courses, none of the courses, 2 or 3. All right? We do have a weighted GPA system. So if you getting an A in an honors level course will give you a higher GPA than getting an A in a college prep course, and getting an A in an AP course will give you a higher GPA than if you got the A in the honors course. How's that for a tongue twister? GPA calculation, if you really want to see the details of how GPAs are calculated, you'll be able to click on that link right there and see a document that we have in the college counseling office that shows you exactly how a GPA is calculated. Okay? So hopefully that gives you some concrete details about what a 9th grade schedule looks like. Scott, Rebecca, anything you'd add to that? I'll repeat it. Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see.
Music theory AP. Seems like we always have several freshmen take that, and then also several seniors, but it can be any grade level. So those students would be mixing with seniors. Certainly, after freshman year, you'll see more of that, whether the student wants to take micro and macroeconomics, environmental science. We see a little bit more of that mixing in those areas. Certainly the different levels of math that they're in, we'll see mixing there. Good question. Any other questions in regards to coursework freshman year?
So it took me a little while to open this link, but these are the courses that are available to 9th grade students. And this is an addendum of the course catalog, but it'll give you, like, to answer Rebecca's question as to where does mixing happen between grade levels, tons of options in here. So off the top of my head, debate, huge mixing, seniors all the way to freshmen. BTVN, Weathercock and Beeline, acting for sure. We actually offer multiple levels of acting, Acting 1, Acting 2, Advanced Acting Honors, and so we'll have seniors in that class along with 9th grade students. Singers, ensemble. Well, ensemble will be more of a 9th grade class, but there are some 10th and 11th graders that haven't taken our 0.5 requirement of a performing art course at some time at the upper school level. So that will give you a pretty good, I mean, there's so many classes on here where there's going to be a lot of mixing in the classroom, but then we haven't even touched on extracurriculars at this point either. So sports, the musical going on right now, that's where the mixing is really going to occur for students. Yes, so question was, can I take yearbook all 4 years? Absolutely. You definitely can. We offer one section of yearbook, one section of Beeline. So normally, in years past, there's been an application for those students in 8th grade that really want to be on the yearbook staff or on the newspaper staff, but we try to accommodate those requests. And those students that maybe can't make it the freshman year just because of numbers, once seniors graduate, we want them to try again sophomore year. So we have a couple classes where we only can offer one section because of staffing, but they're few and far between.
Well, certainly, as Rebecca says, a student that's interested in Beeline or Weathercock, you would be able to take that subject all 4 years. But what's important in a college counseling standpoint is the fact that you're able to increase levels of responsibility in leadership roles within Beeline, Weathercock, and some of these publications. And that's what colleges want to see, in-depth involvement in 3 or 4 activities, rising to a leadership position. So whether it's robotics, debate, Beeline, Weathercock, you know what I'm saying, each year, increase levels of responsibility, increase levels of leadership. So by senior year, you might be editor-in-chief of the publication or of the Weathercock, you know what I'm saying, of the Beeline, things of that nature. I see it all the time when I'm writing my letter. This is letter of rec writing season. We've got 2 weeks before the November 1 deadline. Last week was the October 15th deadline. So Kaylin and I are writing letters every evening. And you know what I'm saying, we're really working on those letters, and that's what we see with robotics. When I see a student involved in robotics, maybe they are involved in middle school and they come up to the upper school, you know what I'm saying, and maybe the first year they're a contributor to the team. Sophomore year, they're mechanical lead. You know what I'm saying, junior year, they're mechanical captain. And then senior year, maybe they're captain of the robotics squad. So that's ways to show leadership. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to demonstrate leadership through honor council, student council, elected positions, but certainly through involvement, activities, sports, service, etc.
We're going to move on to extracurricular activities, but one thing I haven't touched on that I want to make sure I touch on is the summer coursework via BGO. So BGO is our online learning platform that mainly is used by students outside of Barstow that want to take credit-bearing courses, whether they live in Kansas City or around the world. But some of our students utilize BGO in the summer for additional coursework. The most popular courses that we offer are, one, AP Psychology, probably not being taken by an incoming 9th grade student. That would be more of a 10th, 11th, 12th grade student that wants to add a little bit more rigor to their transcript, working with Scott in his office. But what we do see some incoming 9th grade students take over the years has been maybe a summer math course. I mentioned advancing yourself in mathematics by double enrolling in geometry and algebra 2, but we've had some students take a geometry or an algebra 2. Those are probably the two most popular. I'm not sure if we offer pre-calculus, but they take a summer math course, years worth of math content over the summer, and so the next year they're put into that more advanced math course. Has to be the right fit for a student. You know, one of the most common questions that we get is, well, does that work? Does it work well? Well, sometimes. If the student's highly motivated and wants to do it and really enjoys math, it can be a great fit. But if the student really doesn't want to do it and isn't strong in math and is being pulled in, you know, by peer pressure or parent pressure, then sometimes, no, it doesn't work out well, and not only is it a hassle's the wrong word, is it a struggle over the summer, the next year in the more advanced level of mathematics, it's definitely a struggle. So we just have to be careful to, you know, make a decision that's in the best interest of the academic fit of the student. Okay?
The problem is when a weaker student decides to take the math in the summer, honestly, because when they come back, they're still going to be taking 4 years of mathematics in the classroom. So all of a sudden, they've just advanced themselves another level. And I think sometimes, you know, the parents say, oh, you know, we can grab that in the summer and it's going to ease in, you know, lessen their course load during the school year. Well, they're still taking mathematics during the school year. So it just propelled them an extra level. So, and that happens pretty infrequently, but I have seen it here over the last several years.
Any other academic questions before we shift gears and talk a little bit about extracurriculars? Please. So summer coursework, is there a list? And I think I missed the second part of the question. Great question. And do they have to complete it in the summer, or do they have extra time to do it in terms of the school year? Great question. You can click, when I share these slides, you can click on that link. It'll show the courses that are offered. It does change a little bit every year, so like the list that's up there now may not be accurate when March and April comes around and the enrollment process starts. The most common courses that our students take are the math courses, Geometry and Algebra 2, AP Psychology, Comparative Government and Politics, AP. Psychology and Comparative Government we don't offer here in person on campus. So those are nice opportunities to get an AP credit on your transcript in a class that we just don't offer here currently, right? Art Fundamentals is offered online. So a student can take it prior to their summer, in the summer prior to 9th grade and have it count for their 9th grade art fundamentals requirement, which the reason we allow that is so that they can advance themselves in art courses. If they want to get into drawing, painting, or ceramics earlier, they can do that. And it also frees up their schedule should they want to take other courses as well. So those are the most popular courses that students are taking. There are some other ones that, you know, in all honesty, aren't taken by a ton of Barstow students, but they might be taken by other students, you know, around the country and world. All right, but that list will come out. Great question about completing it in the summer or having more time. Let's say you take a math course. You do need to complete that in the summer because we're enrolling you in the next math course when school starts. So getting that prior knowledge taken care of before school starts has to happen. If you take a psychology, you can take more time because there's no next class in the sequence. So for that student that's in psychology, ideally they are finishing in the summer because keep in mind they're taking 6 or 7 courses here However, if you don't finish and need more time, we can do that. So it's a great question. All right. Extracurriculars. We offer a ton of extracurricular activities. That is a blurred line between a true extracurricular activity and coursework. We have a lot of coursework that blurs into the, the after school or off-campus sphere of things. So robotics, BTVN, debate, those are courses that we offer, but there's definitely an extracurricular component. With debate, our top level, traveling pre-COVID, traveling constantly, going, all over the country in some ways, really staying within a 250-mile radius of the state of Missouri. So Illinois, Iowa, Texas, all over the place. BTVN, they do 4 shows a week, but they also are doing a lot of our live streams that you see for athletic events in the evenings. They do special assemblies in here. So there's a lot of after school weekend work, like they're going to be doing the musical coming up this weekend. So they'll be live streaming one of those events. Robotics, also we offer courses in STEAM, engineering design, artificial intelligence, makers. So you can take those courses, you could and not be on the robotics team. You can be on the robotics team and not take the courses that we offer. Most students are doing both. They're taking the courses and they're also on the robotics team because they enjoy the subject area. Being on the robotics team, there's a lot of build nights, Saturdays where they're here all day working on the robot and then competing with the robot, normally in January, February, March, once the season is in full swing. So those are 3 courses that we offer, but also a large extracurricular component. Athletics, very popular. We don't cut in athletics at the middle or upper school level. If you want to play basketball, you're going to play basketball. You want to play soccer, you're going to play soccer. We had a student that just joined us, Rebecca, a week ago? Wanted to play soccer. Great. He's on the team. I don't know if he's playing in games, but wants to be out there practicing. We love that. Upper school musical this weekend. We might have 30 on the cast and crew. We might have 60 on the cast and crew, depending on how many students want to come out. We have auditions for the lead parts, but anybody that wants to take part can. I'll speak from the personal perspective. If I would have gone to really any other high school in the country, I would have tried out for the basketball team on the first or second day. They would have cut me immediately. I would have never played organized basketball again. Was on the C team here my freshman year, JV my sophomore year, played varsity my junior and senior year. I'm not a very good basketball player, but I still pursued it in college. I like being on a team. I like the competitive nature of things. Sauta College, Grinnell College, middle of Iowa, they have 20 people on the team. They lead the country in scoring every year. It's very strange. But it was an opportunity for me to still be on a team and compete. Never would have happened if I didn't come here for an upper school experience. And what do they typically score a game? Give you an idea when you say that. Leading the country in scoring at about 120 to 140 a year. Funny story, my freshman year in college, it's the only D3 televised basketball game ever on ESPN. And promos and hype and come watch this basketball game. They're going to score 140 points. So this is 20 years ago. Or not 20 years. There's 15 years ago. Teams weren't scoring 130 like they do today when you turn on an NBA game. And so all these promos, and then the final score was like 86 to 80. So we laid this huge egg on national television. It was embarrassing. But a good example, I hope, of what things that Barstow afforded me that I didn't even see coming. I came to Barstow for the academics, and these are some of the fringe benefits that really impacted my life and being able to do things way outside the academic realm. Want to mention anything, your years here, extracurricular activities, the value of it in college, anything that comes to mind?
We know when we're looking at admission factors that meaningful involvement, what Joe kind of mentioned and we kind of have already talked about, are very important. We have GPA, which is the #1 college admission factor. the grade point average of the student. And that's why sometimes I see students possibly take a BGO course in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? They have the time to dedicate to one subject, and they complete it, and it, you know what I'm saying, they do well, and it helps their GPA. Okay, and so we know that is the #1 college admission factor. You know, along with that, we have standardized testing, which right now, standardized testing, I could take an entire hour and talk about standardized testing. Test-free, test optional, taking the exams. The importance of having a strong test score in your file gives the student more flexibility. A lot of students hear this, oh, all the colleges are test optional due to the pandemic, and so they say testing's not important. Testing's very important, because for Barstow students, typically, we have very strong test takers. And so we want students having the highest possible score in their file, whether they, you know, and then they'll kind of converse with me rather to send that score, or self-report it is what we say, or not. Okay? So you have standardized testing. You have rigor of curriculum. Each student is judged within the context of the school they attend and the opportunities afforded to him or her. Are you taking advantage of Barstow's AP coursework and honors coursework? If you want to go to the University of Notre Dame, you better be taking the most challenging curriculum. Okay? And students meet with me and they say, Mr. Hill, what does the most challenging curriculum consist of? And then we go over that. Because the summer prior to their fall, their senior year, I rank each senior's curriculum over 4 years. Their proposed curriculum for senior year, and I already know what they've taken freshman, sophomore, and junior years. And then when I have to fill out my common application school report forms, I will put most demanding curriculum in the school, you know what I'm saying, above average, you know what I'm saying, the different categories, based on what they've taken, what is offered here at Barstow. Okay? Along with that, we mentioned GPA, standardized testing, rigor of curriculum, involvement, and that's kind of what Joe just touched on, that extracurricular involvement, 3 or 4 activities. We have to remember on the common application, there's spots for 10 activities. Well, that can be employment, that can be service, that can be clubs and organizations, etc. So we want to make sure that students are involved. I mean, colleges look at that. That is very important. Yes? I'm sorry, are these the only sports? Is that what you said? Okay. And that would be an activity he would be able to list, or she would be able to list on the common application. So, you know, that is an activity. So if it's you know what I'm saying, something's bass fishing, chess, you know what I'm saying, if it's something you dedicate time and energy towards, you know what I'm saying, that we would include that. That's a very good question.
Horseback riding, gymnastics.
Yes.
Over the years, we've seen it all. It's great. Karate, martial arts, that kind of thing.
So that extracurricular involvement, very important. You know what I'm saying? Also very important. I mean, there's certain other admission factors, character. Obviously, my letter of rec as the counselor, teacher evaluations, the student short answers, the college essay, all those are admission factors. And, you know, at the end of the freshman year, we'll have information night for freshmen and parents, and that's where we'll come together and we'll talk about a lot of these college characteristics, admission factors, how to prepare yourself academically, okay? You know, the freshman year, I want really students taking care of business in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? We want students, and that's why we don't have any testing in the freshman year. We don't need it. I've tweaked my timeline over my 22 years here. I know what works best on testing. They come in, they do well in the classroom, they get involved in 2 or 3 activities or clubs, and they're building towards, like I mentioned, increased levels of responsibility, that leadership, and that's what we need, okay? That strong, you know, we want that strong foundation on the Barstow transcript. Most often when I see students stumble is they have a problem freshman year, and there's a lot more freedom, and they don't take care of that problem. They don't go to their instructor during flex. They don't go to their instructor after school. They think, I can bury this problem, and it just snowballs. So really, freshman year, I think it's due to maturity, but it's lack of communication when there's something going wrong. And usually that's probably a lack of communication also with the parents. They're not, you know, completing their homework, their quizzes, they're not studying enough, they're not talking to their parents about it, they're certainly not talking to the teachers. And I think that's where, with the freedom in the upper school, comes responsibility. Joe mentioned that, and we need to make sure that they take the initiative when there is something going wrong. They don't understand a concept. They go in and they speak with the instructor. That's the beauty of Barstow. You can develop those relationships with teachers. You know, you can get to, you know, I kind of laugh, and you guys have maybe heard me say this before. No student has ever left Barstow and said, I wish I could have spent more time with Mr. Hill. It never happened. I mean, we have an open door policy. They can come up anytime and talk to us. So we get to know them, we get to know their personality, we help them construct a college list that fits their needs based on what they want. I can't tell a student what they want, but I can help them get there. Okay, and that list has to be well balanced. That is the key. In the last 2 years, what we've seen with all the institutions going test optional, okay, application numbers are up everywhere. Most schools 20 and 30% in 1 year. Colgate up 100% in 1 year. So it's as competitive as it's ever been. So we need to make sure the students get in and they work hard, they're involved. That's the expectation from colleges. When I talk to them, a small school like Barstow, they expect to have leadership in their file because there's plenty of leadership positions to go around. So we want that.
I think it's very rare for a Barstow student, upper school student in particular, to show up when school starts, go through their daily schedule, and go home. Very rare, very small percentage of students doing that. A lot of students showing up early. We don't have a ton of activities that occur early, but a lot of students staying late, whether it's a debate work night, whether it's a robotics team meeting, whether it's an athletic practice, and that's why we try to stagger. We always want to say yes when we can. So upper school musical practice, for example, it doesn't start till 5 or 5:30 p.m. And it doesn't start that late because some students want to do athletics and be in the play. So we try to accommodate that, right? So then, do we have any students that are pursuing both those? We used to all the time, right? I think it's a symptom of this specialization of students and kids that we see getting funneled into 1 or 2 activities very early, but through AAU sports or things like that. But we want students to be as involved as they want to be. A lot of times we have to tell students to back off. Students want to be in the musical, and they want to play sports, and they want to be on the robotics team, and they want to take a challenging curriculum and get all A's. Well, that's quite a feat. That's difficult to do. So we have to have a lot of conversations. We don't have a ton of conversations like we need more. We actually have a lot of conversations like we need you to think about what you are about to pursue and if it's going to be beneficial to you. Are you going to be able to get this work done? Are you going to be able to play a sport from 3:30 or 4 o'clock to 5:30, then do play practice from 5:30 to 7 or 8, or this week as we're preparing for the musical even later, and then also keep up with the homework that you have going on? So we have a lot of those conversations. Some students can do it. It's incredible. I couldn't do it. But some students can. It's really a testament to them.
Mark Fuller does an amazing job with the musicals and the plays. And the thing is, those are professional productions. And the students are held here till 8 or 9 o'clock at night. So sometimes with freshmen, I see that, homework, and, it's a battle.
Scott was just talking about how the plays are so good, and so students will stay here till 8 or 9 o'clock at night because the play level is so high. Rebecca, anything you want to add from the prospective parents when they're applying to Barstow? Questions about extracurricular activities, what's important to them, and things that you mention or see?
So I have a club, and it's called Curiosentes, and you guys might have heard that word before, and I don't know where exactly it originated. It's a big question on campus. It's a student ambassador group, and it's really great for working on soft skills. So networking, marketing experience. You're meeting a lot of people all the time, and you really have to be quick on your feet, thinking quickly, answering questions that maybe you weren't prepared to get. My club tends to pull some of the most motivated students on campus because they really, really want that experience. And it's very typical for my kids in Curiosentes to be on multiple activities at a time. So one of the things that we're doing is managing the fact that they have debate, but they still need to come to an admissions event. They are on the play or they are on a sport, but we still want to be able to create a meaningful experience for them. And I would say that's really the norm. I think most kids are doing multiple activities because we try so hard to remove the obstacles to participation here, really in anything that we do. So it doesn't just go for extracurriculars, it goes for coursework, it goes for sports. Our goal here is to always create meaningful opportunities for participation And as opposed to requiring participation, they want to, because there's less obstacles in their way. It's really fun, and that's why you come to Barstow, so that you can take advantage of all of the amazing resources and opportunities that we have. So that's one of the reasons why we're so sought after, especially for the upper school level.
Any questions about extracurriculars? We'll just touch on student life, the character section. It's kind of the other topics that add to who we are as a school, but don't maybe fit neatly into the academic or extracurricular boxes. We have really active student clubs here at Barstow. Well, I should say, some are really active, some are less active, some are very serious, some are not serious. Everything from service clubs, diaper drives, Operation Breakthrough, very regimented, serving every week or one activity a month, that kind of thing, all the way down to video game clubs that once a month will play Super Smash Brothers in Dr. Root's history room, that kind of thing. We try to have a club that everybody, will join, one or two, something that fits them. If there's no club that piques your son or daughter's interest, great, they can create one. We have an application every year. We need a couple kids that would show interest and a faculty sponsor, and boom, you have a club ready to go. So that's always an option. Clubs normally meet once a week. I forget, I think it's Wednesdays or Thursdays at the upper school level. We have some, I'll point out the Pretenders Club. That's the oldest student club that we have here at Barstow. They do a play every year. Normally happens after the upper school musical and before the middle school musical. And in some years, that's been student written, student directed, and obviously the students perform and do all the work in front of the house and back of the house. So that's one of the oldest clubs that we have here on campus. We do various events. We have dances, we have movie nights, gym nights, trivia nights, that kind of thing. The student council, they meet weekly as well, and I'm constantly sitting in on those meetings, going through ideas. It's not just, so we have a lot of, Scott mentioned it, we have a lot of opportunities for student leadership. We have student council that oversee all of upper school. We also have class leadership leading the senior class, junior class, all the way down. The senior class leaders asked for a meeting with me a month ago, and they said, we want to do a haunted house after the BPA's trunk or treat coming up this Saturday. And I was like, wow, that's quite an undertaking. You sure you want to do that? And they said, yes. And so here we are, a week away, and we've got apparently 40 or 50 upper school volunteers that are going to be decorating the upper school hallway and having a pathway through, and it's going to be staffed, there's going to be tour guides, and I'm sitting back and I'm hoping it goes great because it's been completely student done, and I have faith that they're going to pull it off, but it's quite an undertaking. And so I'm looking forward to this Saturday and starting to see how well it goes, but that was a student-generated idea. I just walked into a room and said yes, and we try to say yes, whenever we can. What else do I want to touch on? You see some of the traditions there. Hopefully over the years here you've seen some of those. Commencement, obviously the biggest one, done in a certain way, but Tree Day, senior kindergarten buddies. We've had, I think, 2 buddy opportunities so far this year where the seniors get a buddy. We did a scavenger hunt, I know, early on in the year, and they did a second get-together, I think just a couple weeks ago. Senior walk happens on the last Friday of class, and yesterday the seniors did a class retreat where they had their own. They walked down to Leawood City Park and did a bunch of other activities. So it's a lively place. The biggest struggle I have, to be honest with you, is just balancing trying to say yes with the number of ideas that come through, because sometimes it becomes overwhelming when you're getting ideas not only from the senior class but 9th graders and 10th graders, and they're coming from all sides, and so it's really difficult to strike a balance. Anybody want to mention anything? No? We're pretty much finishing up. Any questions? Anything's fair game. It's been a quiet group this morning. Are you leaving with your head spinning? No? Too much? Hopefully it's digestible. Hopefully we painted a pretty clear picture of what upper school looks like here.
And maybe a closing thought is, I handed out my business card when you came in. If you didn't get one, let me know. My cell phone number is on that. I think that's what's different from other schools. The college counseling program here at Barstow starts now. I meet with 8th grade parents sometimes, or 8th graders, not a lot, but certainly at the freshman level. But anytime you have a question, you can call or text me. And that's, if you're looking at other schools, and you probably, I'm saying rightfully so, it's all about the fit. As I mentioned on the college search process, it's all about that right fit. And we want to make sure Barstow is the right fit for you. But the thing is, throughout your 4 years, put my cell phone number in your phone. I guarantee you will call, you will text, whether it's about standardized testing, whether it's about leadership or this service opportunity. And we'll, like I said, it doesn't start as a sophomore. It doesn't start as a junior, college counseling. We're pretty much at any point. So that's the way we like it. Thank you.
And I joke that I have the easiest name in Barstow's entire system, Joe Fox. So finding me via email is very easy. And if you take one thing away today, know that we're all very approachable through contact. Contact us at any time, right? That's how the majority of our day is spent. Many days is answering questions or channeling people to the proper, communication channel so they get their questions answered. That's what we're here to do. We want your experience in upper school to be fantastic. This was just a tip of the iceberg today. We just wanted to give you probably too much information, but give you enough information to paint a picture of what upper school looks like. It's the first of many opportunities you have to get as much information about upper school from us as you want. Rebecca's here to help. I'm here to help. Scott's here to help. There's many other people that are also here to help. Rebecca and I are currently organizing move-up days for every 8th grade student so they can experience a day in upper school. We're looking forward to doing those in November. We'll send out some more information soon. Totally optional. We did it maybe 3 or 4 years ago before COVID, and I think we had one student opt out, which was fine. But I think it was pretty well received. Students really enjoyed the opportunity to go sit in on upper school classes for the day. So we're constantly thinking about events like that to give 8th grade students an opportunity to see what upper school looks like. We do student panels, faculty panels, and we'll continue those as we go through the next couple months. Anything you want to mention?
And I'll make it speedy, you guys. So 8th grade move-up days coming up. So the 3 Mondays in November after the first Monday, we're going to be splitting up the grade into thirds. And so each third will visit for a full day. So we're going to be doing this in November. And like Mr. Fox said, you'll get more information about that. Of course, totally optional if it doesn't work for you. But it's really fun, and it's a great way for them, again, to not just imagine themselves as a 9th grader, but really have that full day experience. It's super helpful. And if there's some nerves about it, too, it's actually really calming. They feel a lot better about it. So we're going to be doing that in November. And then there's a really neat experience that we've talked about a little bit. So 8th graders are going to have the opportunity to go to upper school advisory. So that's something that we're working on as well. And that's a really great way for them to start forming relationships with high schoolers, which is really cool. Because again, we can talk about those meaningful relationships that they're going to develop with students in other grades, but until you start to do that, it's hard to imagine. And then we will have a faculty panel where they're going to be able to ask questions of teachers and just start creating that dialogue. And I do, just really quick, I want to point out that we do realize you guys have other schools that are contacting you. And so just to give you a little bit of peace of mind, you do know we have moved to continuous enrollment. So if you are unsure, if you need more time, or if you're just a family that really likes to sit and have family discussions around re-enrollment time, I really encourage you, just opt out. It's not terribly difficult. You just send me an email. It's just hitting pause. It's not a big deal, and it does not mean that I have given your spot away. So if you need more time, if you need to think, if you're evaluating financial aid questions, that kind of thing, that can be really helpful. So you would do that simply by emailing me, and then opting back in is super easy. You, again, just email me, and you don't need to worry that if you opt out in January, on February 1st, I've given your spot away. That would never happen here. But that's something we can talk about more afterwards if you guys want to. Any questions about opting out? Okay, great.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you coming out and spending an hour with us. Please contact us at any time and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.